Hey friends, this is Jennifer Terri and welcome to another Philippine Travel Update. In this video, we'll talk about the latest IATF Resolution 120. We'll also talk about Cebu and we'll also talk about is there a possibility that the Cebu policy swab test upon arrival can be applied throughout the Philippines, in Manila and in Clark. So let's start with the IATF resolution. So the IATF resolution 120 today is the restrictions on movement of fully vaccinated senior citizens in areas under GCQ and MGCQ. Now, majority of the Philippines is under MGCQ, but they are subject to present their vaccination cards and they will be considered fully vaccinated 2 weeks after the second dose. So this was requested by Seniors Union, because they need to give incentives for fully vaccinated seniors then. So this is some improvement. This may be the start of the Philippine government giving incentives or at least some privileges for fully vaccinated individuals to encourage the vulnerable sectors, senior citizens, people with comorbidities, to get vaccinated. Moving on, the IATF amended the inbound international travel to any port of the Philippines of all fully vaccinated individuals who have been vaccinated in the Philippines. So they are still holding on to that this new policy of only 7 days quarantine in the hotel, no testing unless may symptoms, for those who are vaccinated in the Philippines. So for those na vaccinated sa Philippines, this new policy will be effective on June 16 na po. June 16, mga bakunado sa Pinas na alis ng abroad, pagbalik nyo ng Pinas, 7 days hotel quarantine lang po. At saka, no testing kung walang symptoms. So, ang kailangan kumuha ng certificate sa Department of Information and Communications Technology or pwede sa City Health Office of the local government unit just to prove that you have really fully been vaccinated na. Certificate lang from your LGU or sa DICT. Sa DICT or Department of Information and Communications Technology, whichever is easier. But I think LGU is much easier option. Anyways, apart from that certificate, upon departure, just present it to the Bureau of Quarantine for verification. For that, I know, majority, para sigurong 99% of you guys will not really benefit from this new policy because there's only a small percentage of Filipinos who are vaccinated. Senior citizens, people with comorbidities, frontliners. Will those people be traveling abroad? And recently they added economic workers. Well, they're working. Now let's go to Cebu. So we need to keep talking about this now to put pressure on the Philippine government. Because the situation in Cebu really highlights their selfishness and incompetence. So the question really is that, will the Cebu policy of swab test upon arrival, only 2 to 3 days hotel quarantine, can be applied nationwide? So according to the doctor, Chief Pathologist of the Department of Health Region 7, Dr. Mary Jean Loreche, comparing daw the swab upon arrival versus the 7th-day testing, the difference in the positivity rate is not big, and that is based upon on-the-ground data.
In fact, our data shows na when you test upon arrival versus day 7, which is the national guidelines, hindi po malaki yung agwat in terms of positivity rate. Kaya po may data po tayo niyan na pinanghuhugutan natin, so hindi po magkalayo yon.
So if they were to follow the swab test upon arrival policy, we can catch the virus immediately and contain it. We can save on costs. Instead of OWWA or non-OFWs paying 10 days or 9 nights quarantine, they can save 2 nights lang. But that's a lot of savings. Just imagine, 1 OFW, the Philippine government pays 1,400, 2,500, 3,000. Multiply that with 7 or 6. Multiply that with the number of people arriving every day, diba? And another thing, travelers do not need to quarantine for 10 days in the hotel, which really benefits a lot of our kababayans who have very limited time in the Philippines. And she added that with this policy in Cebu, after they receive their negative result on the 2nd or 3rd day, they can go to their final destination, in which they are monitored by the barangay health officers or the BHERTs or the local government unit, in which they continue their quarantine at home if their home qualifies as a place for quarantine. If not, then they will quarantine in the barangay as an isolation facility. And then repeat swabbing on the 7th day. That is the protocol in Cebu, no? So, if you think about it, the quarantine really it's not just 2 days, 3 days, guys. The Cebu policy, the quarantine is still up to 7 days. So Dr. Mary Jean Loreche of the DOH Region 7 were asked this question: can the Cebu swab test upon arrival policy be adopted nationwide? She answered, if you ask me if it can be adopted, yes, it can be adopted as a whole-of-nation approach as deemed by our experts. But there is a need to assess the local government unit capacity to do monitoring and surveillance. We can do it here in Cebu because we have systems and processes in place. So it really shows, guys, that Cebu is well ahead of their game. They have processes, they have monitoring, they have systems. I wish all the LGUs in the Philippines were like that, no? But so the reality is that not all LGUs ay kagaya ng Cebu. So, ang LGU ng Cebu ay meron silang sistema. They have the capacity to do re-swabbing on the 7th day. They monitor. While some LGUs may not have the capacity to do swab testing or talagang pabayaan din at hindi na nagmo-monitor sa mga overseas Filipinos. So, a lot of senators have already expressed their support. There's Senate President Tito Soto. There's Senator Risa Hontiveros, who commended Cebu's decision to come up with its own policy and that she trusts that this LGU has studied the situation and can handle their policy, no? And Senator Villanueva called the policy not only sensible, science-backed, but also money efficient for the government and the inbound Filipinos. He said, if we can do this throughout the Philippines, imagine how much money we can save. And with that money, we can use it to buy vaccines pa daw. At the end of the day, kahit ilang senador pa ang magsalita dyan sa Facebook, mag-post ng express ng kanilang support, IATF pa rin ang masusunod. IATF is led by the IATF chairperson, Duque, the Department of Health Secretary, and the IATF co-chairperson, Carlo Alexi B. Nograles. Dalawang to ang nagpipirma ng mga IATF resolution. But guys, do you know the IATF overall chairperson is the president po? It's the president po. The IATF is under the executive branch of the government, under the leadership of the president. So whatever the IATF comes up po, they have to present it to the president approves. He has the capacity, he has the power to veto, to disapprove resolutions. Oh, hindi ko yan gusto, baguhin nyo yan. He can, guys. He has all the power to do that. But it seems like the president ay talagang he trusts this Duque, no? No matter how many times Duque's resignation has been called, no matter how many times Duque's resignation has been called na since last year pa, guys, since April 2020 pa lang. Not even, I don't think even the coronavirus started pa dahil sa PhilHealth, dun sa overpriced medical supplies daw. Pero the president has his full confidence. He is whispering to the president's ears. It makes you wonder, why is the secretary so untouchable despite being, at the very least, spectacularly incompetent? The president needs to listen to his people directly from his own people and not from some sort of Department of Health Secretary. So, yun yung shortcoming din sa situation na ito, na parang hindi na nakikinig, hindi na niya alam kung anong nangyayari sa mga kababayan natin. At parang itong si Duque na lang ang kanyang pinapakinggan. She's nakakalungkot. We will keep on talking about this until there is some sort of change na mangyari. Please change that protocol po. Consider us who are fully vaccinated abroad. We already talked about this in our last video, no? And until that there is no change in the protocol, Filipinos will continue to suffer. Sa mga kababayan ko dyan, kumapit lang po kayo and we will surpass this po. We are all in this together. You're not alone. And one day makaka-uwi ka din. Sa mga naka-uwi na, congratulations. At ako ay uuwi din. In a few days time, ipagdasal nyo guys na my flight won't be cancelled in 1 week. Thank you so much for watching po. Mag-ingat po kayo. God bless. Stay safe. Bye.